Howdy guys, welcome back to another one. Today we're putting together Josh's favorite slash best performing turkey shell he's ever come up with. So this is actually really simple. It's a duplex. This has no shot cup or no plastic wad with a shot cup. The components are very simple. Now I know I've done this video before, but I think I can do this a little bit better now. We have a brand new primed 3.5 inch Shadot hull. This one's white. He likes the white hulls. That's what he uses when he does this. So white hull. X12X gas seal. That's the only plastic wad in here. The dust is this one. He uses IMR blue. I don't have any IMR blue, but I have this one. They're very close. IMR blue is a touch hotter. His number of the day for the IMR blue is 32. Blue dot being a touch slower. My number of the day is 34. So we are using a 1/2 inch fiber wad in here. This is 10 gauge. Why is that? Well, I am of the mindset one size fits all. I can take these 10 gauge 1/2 inch fiber cushion wads and break them down. It's really easy. Just like that, and crush them, tear them apart, and make them fit the smaller gauges. So one size fits all. Most people are not like that. That's just me. If you guys want to do this, use the 12 gauge fiber cushion wads. It'll be a whole lot easier and save you some time. And it's the appropriate size fiber cushion wad anyway. So we are using BSB buffer in this. This is 2¼ ounces, by the way. But he uses mix number 47. I think the BSB is just a little bit better, so I'm using the BSB. And he, again, this is a duplex. He likes the 7.5s and 4s, both high antimony for the shorter range patterns. The 7.5s have better density than the 6s, obviously. So, shorter range patterns, 7.5s get the job done just fine. At shorter ranges, 30 yards. If you don't know, Winchester has a 410 lead turkey shell that has 7.5s in it, and they say 25 yards is the max range they are usable at, because it's a 410. 7.5s don't carry a ton of energy. The pattern is not very dense. It's 3/4 ounces though in a 410, so that's pretty cool. But 6s will obviously be better than 7.5s every single time in every way except for pattern density. So for his 40-yard plus, he uses 6s and 4s. So I'll be using the 6s and 4s because I have them. I actually don't have any 7.5s right now. But that's all it is. We have the dust, the hull 3.5 inch shot, X12X gas seal, fiber cushion wad, shot, and buffer. That's it. This one's very simple. But without further ado, let's do as he likes to say. Okay, so the dust is in there. I will say, if you guys don't have Blue Dot or IMR Blue is discontinued. Well, I would try using this one and 26. We have not tested that ourselves, but going off past experience with buckshot, it should work just fine. Although I would step it down to 2 ounces, not 2¼ long shot performs better with 2 ounces. 2¼ certainly doable, but the pressure is kind of high for that, higher than what we like it. So I would drop it down to 2 ounces. Use an ounce of each size. If you have this one, 40. Anyway, after the dust is in it, where'd I put it? Oh, X12X. Get that seated. Alright, now we need, on the bottom, I need to tear off just a little bit more. I didn't tear that exactly in half, but 1/4 inch of fiber cushion wad. This will be the middle layer. So, 1/4 inch fiber cushion wad. We'll get that seated with the press. Make sure it's flat. And for that, I'll actually get my wad taper out of here, the 12 gauge one. Actually, this is 16 gauge. And just make sure that's flat. Again, if you guys plan on doing this, use the 12 gauge ones, excuse me. But as you can see, the 10 gauge one did conform down just fine. you can't put the 10 gauge ones into 12 gauge holes when they're a whole half inch. You have to break it down. That way the shorter fiber wad will actually conform. But as you can see, it didn't bulge out the plastic at all. It shaped down to the diameter of the 12 gauge holes. Now we need 1 1/8 ounces of copper plated number 4s. We are putting the bigger shot on the bottom. Every time we have patterned this, the bigger shot on the bottom actually patterns better. Bigger shot patterns better on the bottom. We don't know why. I think it's because since the shot is separated, the 4s and 6s are separated by fiber cushion wad, they don't ever actually interfere with each other in flight. The 4s can't push the 6s out of the way. But at the same time, the 6s being on the bottom, where it's a smaller shot, you need a tighter constriction to get it to pattern tighter, I guess, for lack of a better term. It spreads faster. And whenever it catches up to the 4s, if this is happening in flight, the 6s being a little bit more open and higher density, more pellet count, that might actually be scattering the 4s out here. But I don't know. I don't think that the shot ever contacts each other in the air where they're separated by a fiber cushion wad. I really can't explain why the bigger shot on the bottom patterns better in this shell, but it has every time we've shot one of these. By the way, the gun Mossberg 835, which has a 10 gauge bore, kicks 680 GT. It has, I believe it's 95 thousandths of constriction, so that's a really tight choke. It's like using a 640 in a standard 12 gauge, like an 870 or 500. It's quite a tight choke, which is why this pattern's so good without having a shot cup or plastic wad with a shot cup, anything like that. Yeah, this pattern's really good. We, sorry to get kind of off topic when I was putting this together, but we put Josh's shell up against a Longbeard XR 3.5 inch 12 gauge and one of my 10 gauge 2.5 ounce and 3 ounce hand loads. Well, Josh's shell here actually kind of stood on its own. It stood up against the XR really, really well. The pattern was a little bit bigger, maybe a couple inches all the way around, excuse me, and it had a few flyers. That's to be expected. The core of the pattern was insanely well, just like the XR was, just like the 10s were, and this had no shot cup. The Thanksgiving video from 2024 we did just a few months ago. If you guys want to go check out those shells, we were at 30 yards, not 40, but this is 40-yard capable all day long. We knew his creation here patterned really well, but we did not expect it to be able to hold up against a 10 gauge and a Longbeard XR, but it did.
We've got the first pattern with the Longbeard, our control, and then this one is what, Mr. Tyler?
That was 2.5 ounces of 6s and 4s.
This one was 2 1/4 ounces of 6s and 4s. That one is 3 ounces of 6s.
Yep.
That one was 1 1/8 ounces of 6s. Wow. 20 gauge, 10, 12, 10, 12.
Yeah.
But we'll flip them over. I just figured we'd appreciate the artwork one more time.
Right.
We'll slide this back and we'll flip them over and you can see the pattern density a lot better through the backs of them.
There you go.
Anyways, actually that'll work better. So, our control, the Longbeard, that's what we was trying to achieve, at least that.
And it's really good.
Well, there's his first attempt at it.
Oh, by the way, we were at 30 yards, not 25.
Yeah.
Anyway, honestly, guys, I feel like mine's a little bit better. It's not centered up, but the density is, well, it's just as good.
This one's the one that really stands out to me.
Yes.
That is a conventionally loaded duplex. And if you take this one, and we'll slide it over here beside that, if that was centered up on the paper, it'd be just as well as that conventionally loaded for a fraction of the price.
Yeah.
Very little components to use. It's literally X12X, and if you have X12X and fiber cushions and a little bit of blue dot, you can load this load yourself very simply.
A little bit of buffer.
That's not even needed. I've loaded a bunch without buffer even.
The density on this is dang near just as good as the Longbeard.
That's 4s and 6s.
Yeah, it's 4s and 6s.
That's straight 4s.
Yeah.
You can see where the 6s come in to fill in a little better.
Now,
That's what I like about them.
Those being 4s, that is really, really good for 4s. Usually those are not nearly as dense as 6s. So that's really saying something. The Longbeard is an incredible shell.
All right, guys, I'll tell you what. Y'all pick. Starting this way, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Leave it in the comments below. Which one do you think is the best pattern?
I'll tell you which one's the best for me. That
is 3 ounces from a 10 gauge.
That is, there's no arguing that density is better than the Longbeard.
We'll move it over here beside the Longbeard like we have been.
Yeah, there's nobody on this planet that'll say that's worse than the Longbeard. The density is twice as good as the Longbeard. Right. We have fired this at 50 yards up on the really high range way up on the hill. And at 50 yards, that had a 20 by 21 inch pattern.
Right.
Just for reference there. Okay, so on top the 1/4 inch section of fiber cushion wad, 1 1/8 ounces of copper plated 4s, or any kind of 4s you want, or any size shot really. It ain't gotta be plated either. 1 1/8 ounce of whatever size shot you want. But these are copper plated 4s. High antimony, hard shot. On top of that, we need 1/8 inch of fiber cushion wad. Yep, this separates the shot, wad tamper. Make sure it is flat in there. And it is. Can form down just fine. And again, it did not bulge the hull out at all. On top of that, we need another 1 1/8 ounce of the 6s. So 2 1/4 ounces in total. All right, now we have the 1 1/8 ounces of the copper plated 6s. On top of that, we are just putting the remaining 1/8 inch of fiber cushion wad ready to crimp. Now, I didn't put any buffer in this because this is just going to be range food. We are not going to be patterning this for a video. This is just something fun for us to shoot. But I did want to mention the buffer. If you're going to put this together and actually pattern it for yourself, add the buffer. I'm not adding it here because, again, range food. 6-point crimp or 8, whatever you want to do. Herbacitor, make sure that's lined up. Herbacitor did its job really well. And final crimp. And we end up with a really good 6-point crimp. But I can make it look better with a Got BN2 to give it a taper. But as it sits right now, that is a really nice looking crimp. Like I was saying earlier, the white shells and clear are hard to show up on camera. But now you can see it just fine. The crimp is deep set, it's flat, no waviness across the top of the shell. That is a really nice crimp, but at the same time, since that is my 10 gauge press, I mention this all the time, the top of it is kind of belled out. We need a Got BN2 to taper that and finish it. If you're just using the regular 12 gauge, not the 10 gauge conversion, I think only me and one other guy have this, well, then it would be ready just to go. Okay, I have it against the white background now. You can see, kind of, it does have a pretty good taper on it, thanks to the BN2, and a, again, really, really nice crimp. There is an ever so slight amount of pinhole there, but that's okay. This is lead, and it's also got fiber cushion wad under the crimp as an overshot card, so that little pinhole right there doesn't matter at all. But that is a really nice looking crimp. So there is Josh's favorite and best performing 3.5 inch 12 gauge lead turkey shell. This one is a really, really good one. It's just as good as the stuff I come up with that have full length wads. But no buffer in this because, again, range food. And yes, this is the kind of stuff we throw together just to have fun with. As you guys have seen many, many times, we often just take 3.5 inch 12 gauge and 10 gauge out just to shoot them, just to have fun with. A lot of people think we're crazy for doing that, but honestly, the recoil doesn't bother us at all. We have the proper shooting technique to handle recoil. If you guys haven't seen that, go check the video out. We put out about a month and a half ago now on how to handle heavy recoil. I thought that was some pretty solid advice, that video was. And you guys seem to have thought so too, but yeah. Recoil on these don't bother us at all. But anyways, guys, that's going to end this one here. Please like and subscribe. We always appreciate that. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section below and we'll get back to you. And if you want to, go check out our Patreon. A link to that, as well as a link to our Instagram, Rumble, and merch store will be in the description below. But other than that, you guys take it easy, and we'll see you in the next one.